What's up guys, JV2017 here, and today I wanted to ramble a bit about Nuka World and how it's the final DLC for Fallout 4. This is sort of a follow-up to a video I posted a few weeks ago after E3 on the same subject. In an interview at Bethesda's E3, Todd Howard claimed that Nuka World would be the last DLC for the game, but a lot of us were skeptical since he said last DLC for the fall or something along those lines, leaving a little bit of room, hey, maybe there's something in the future. Well, now it's mid-July and Bethesda seems to have gone out of their way to dispel those rumors. Specifically, Pete Hines, Bethesda's VP of PR and Marketing, has answered several tweets from people asking different versions of the same question, is Nuka World really the last DLC for Fallout 4? His response is almost always just, last one. That's literally all he says back to the person. And for me, there's a real distinction between dancing around the possibilities and leaving up, something open, because he is the VP of PR and Marketing. It's a pretty important position. He can't say, there's no more left when there's going to be more. That wouldn't make any sense. So he's not dancing around the possibilities. There's a distinction between that and definitively saying that this is it. He could have said the last one for right now or last planned DLC. Last one by itself just means last one. Not the last one of the fall, not the last one of the current season pass. This is the last Fallout 4 DLC, and while that may take a bit for that to sink in for our community, it's definitely now a reality. Luckily, Bethesda has been supporting the game to the best of their ability since launch, and while they haven't ironed out all of those bugs, still people are complaining about that stuff, and I guess they have a right to. They have introduced new features like the new survival mode. Console mods is a huge one that a lot of people understate, and a few small workshop decorations through free updates. So that doesn't mean, nothing new will come after Nuka World towards the end of August, but we have to keep our expectations reasonable and realize that there won't be any more significant content updates moving forward. I guess mods and the Skyrim remaster will have to fill our Bethesda void of, new content, even though, Skyrim remaster is not new. At the time I'm recording this video, we're less than 2 weeks away from Vault-Tec Workshop DLC, and Nuka World is still a month and a half away. But I know I'm not the only one thinking about Fallout 4's DLC as a whole. I've said several times on this channel that I certainly would have preferred more story DLC instead of half workshop packs and half story packs. I even would have preferred if all of the workshop DLCs were put together in one giant $15 pack, because that would have kind of separated the building aspect of the game from everything else and gotten rid of the feeling and the perception that half of their focus was on workshop, which is, that's what it feels like. It's not really true if you think about the value and the time that you can spend in the other things, but that's definitely what it feels like. I've also defended Bethesda to a certain degree because I don't believe they've deserved quite the level of hate that they've gotten for trying something new, and that's kind of what it's felt like. They said they've tried different size packs in the past, smaller ones, bigger ones, and they've worked, so they wanted to go with that kind of format and plan for this game. And there's always a tendency for people to complain that nothing has changed if it hasn't changed, and then turn around and complain that something has changed too much if it did indeed change. You could say Bethesda were in a damned if they do, damned if they don't kind of situation. However, I'm not so sure that applies to Fallout 4's DLC because their community is so deafeningly vocal about not liking workshop DLC. And now that I played the majority of the DLC for this game, I can look back now and think, what if I had played 3 good-sized DLCs that were story-based up to this point instead of what we've had so far? What if they were $20 each, offered around 20 hours of playtime, and brought us that vacation Fallout experience that Fallout 3 and New Vegas offered? And then we were still looking forward to Nuka World at this point. I absolutely can't say that I wouldn't have preferred that, and I'm sure a lot of you are in the same boat. On the other hand, I've seen plenty of you enjoying the building part of the game and welcoming the workshop DLC packs. There's certainly value in those $5 packs, and I'm not gonna, beat that dead horse because I've done it before, but if you're willing to explore what they have to offer and you enjoy the building, the value's there. You're not getting ripped off for $5 workshop packs. But once again, when you step back at this point, Bethesda certainly could have stuck with story DLC like they had in the past, and it would have been super successful. And from an opportunity cost perspective, it's a little frustrating because they absolutely spent time to produce workshop DLC instead of, in place of, creating story DLC. That was a conscious decision, a conscious choice. They made that clear choice and stuck to it, and I just can't say that I'm not disappointed. We're definitely not at the end of this discussion because we haven't played 2 of the other DLCs that are coming out, and I definitely plan on returning to this discussion after all that's out and after we've had enough time with everything, some time into September after Nuka World. But for now, I can definitely say that for me, knowing what all the DLC is, the overall offering for Fallout 4 has been disappointing. It's not that I felt like I've been cheated because, again, I think that's ridiculous. If you bought that season pass and didn't know what was in it, that's just on you. There's value in the season pass, just maybe not what you would want. And overall, this is just not what Bethesda delivered in the past. The DLC is not what I would have wanted had I had a choice in the matter. The only DLC I've loved and would want to experience again for the first time kind of experience is Far Harbor. It's the one shining diamond in the rough for me, and it was the largest one, which is good. You know, that's good because we got a lot of playtime out of that. Who knows? Maybe Nuka World will provide another memorable vacation Fallout experience like I've described plenty of times on this channel. Honestly, I fully expect it to, but even if it does, I still think this game needed another large piece of story-based DLC content. You know, another solid piece instead of Automatron, you know, in place of that small $10 DLC pack to round it out. That definitely would have put it higher on the charts for me. For right now, Fallout 4's DLC as a whole comes nowhere close to Fallout 3 or New Vegas in terms of, you know, how memorable it was and how much of an experience I'm going to look back on and say, wow, this was some great DLC. It just doesn't compare. So I've done my 5 or so minutes of rambling. I'd like to hear from you guys now in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Fallout 4's DLC as a whole? Do you have any strong opinions on if it needed more story DLC to kind of round it out? How did it stack up against previous games with their DLC? And are you okay with what you got? I know a lot of people are going to agree with me on this, but some people are going to be like, I'm okay with what I got. Maybe it's not exactly what I wanted, but I felt like I found value. Share all of what you're thinking in the comment section below. Alright guys, today I shared my thoughts on Nuka World being the final DLC for Fallout 4, and next time we will cover more Fallout on my channel, so stay tuned for Fallout 4 tips and tricks videos. If you learned something new or enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button, I would really appreciate it, and don't forget to subscribe for more DLC coverage, my survival mode live streams, Bethesda.net mods, and general tips and tricks videos. Talk to you guys next time. Peace!